Hi, boys and girls. So today we are going to finish up our social studies unit about our social studies week, I guess, about the three branches of government. And I have really enjoyed getting to talk about this with you. I've enjoyed hearing your comments and your thoughts about this topic. Some of your type 1 writings were fantastic. Some of your just the things that you had to say, your discussions were awesome. So I really enjoyed that. And we are going to kind of bring this to a close. So go ahead and get out your KWL chart. Now, if you wrote it on a whiteboard or something, then that's okay. However, if you have your KWL chart that we started at the beginning of this week on Monday, then that would be awesome if you can go ahead and get it. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill out the what I learned part. And as we talked about before, you may have something totally different that you know or that you knew and that you wanted to know. So your what I learned may not be the same as mine. It also might be similar to mine. But right now is the time that we're going to fill out the what I learned section on yours and on mine. So what I learned, I'm going to kind of look at what I wanted to know. So why are there three branches? Well, I learned that the three branches were created so that one person or group did not have all the control. Because if you remember, we had talked about how that had to do with the power, and we didn't want just one person to have all the power. And it says, what is the job of each of the branches? So I know that the job of the legislative branch is to make laws. The job of the executive branch, do you remember what that job is? Anybody? So it is to approve and enforce laws. And then finally, the job of the judicial branch is to make sure laws are fair. So those are the jobs. I answered this question. I found this out, right? I wanted to know what the job of each of three branches was. I have now found that out. I've discovered it. This is the job of the legislative branch. This is the job of the executive branch. And this is the job of the judicial branch. So that's some things. Those are some things that I learned. And then my last question was, who else is in the executive branch? Do you remember who else is in the executive branch? So if you remember, the president is part of it. Who else is part of it? Do you remember? It's the vice president. The vice president is part of the executive branch. So those are the things that I learned. Now, we learned a whole lot of information, right? And maybe not all of your questions have been answered, and that's okay. If they haven't, you can always comment on a discussion post, and I can try to help you find that answer. You can also do more research on your own. EPIC has some really great books about the government. So if you just search government, or if you want your teacher or myself to assign you some books on the government so you can kind of do some more research, we will gladly do that. Just let us know. But they have lots of books where you can do some more research on this. So if this is something that you're interested in and you didn't get to figure out all of your answers to your questions, that would be an awesome way for you to kind of do some of that, do some more reading about this topic, because all we had to work with really was a video and then our article, which was a lot of information, but it wasn't everything that's out there. So you never know what other kind of information you can find if you do some more reading or some more research on your own. But I will also gladly help you answer any of your unanswered questions that you may have. So go ahead and take the time. You can pause this video if needed to fill out your what I learned section of your KWL chart, and just go ahead and write down, here's what I learned. I would love to see it. If you want to post a picture, I'm sure your teacher would love to see it. However, you don't have to. This was kind of just for you to be able to figure out, organize the information that you already knew and the information that we have now learned. So go ahead and do that. After you're done with that, you should go ahead and you should reread your article. You should have already reread your article. If you did not, then please pause this video, go ahead and reread the article that I've posted on the page. And then you are going to do some type 2 writing. So if you remember, type 1 writing is our brainstorming list. Type 2 writing is there is a correct answer and an incorrect answer, and you do have to try to make sure that you get that evidence from the text, which in this case is the article. So you can definitely bring the article up on one side if you split your screen, which a lot of you know how to do. You can bring the article up and then use your type 2 on the other side. You can print it, or you can just flip back and forth. So for our type 2 writing, the question is, what are the 3 branches of government? Using the article, describe and explain the purposes of each of the 3 branches of government. So that's kind of right here. That is your type 2 writing. Now, it has 2 parts, and you need to make sure that you answer both parts because it's asking for 2 different things. So the first thing that it's asking is, what are the 3 branches of government? Now, we just talked about that. However, if you forget or don't know, go back to the text, go ahead and look at it. And then here it says, using the article, describe and explain the purposes of each of the 3 branches of government. This is important. You're using the article. Now, you are obviously going to put the article's words in your own words. However, this isn't just brain knowledge that you have already. This should be from the article. So last week I wrote the type 2 and kind of showed you what I was looking for here. I gave you more of a template, and it's showing you kind of how you should have it set up because there's only so much information from this article that you can really get, and I didn't want to give away all of the answers. So this is kind of how I formatted my type 2 writing. Now, yours does not need to look exactly like this. You can have different words, you can have a different order that you put things in. That is 100% fine. This is just to help you if you are kind of stuck as to how to start your type 2 writing. This can help you a little bit. So I started out by restating the question because the question was, what are the 3 branches of government? And so I said the 3 branches of government are blank. And then that's where you would list the 3 branches of government. So the blank branch, the blank branch, and the blank branch. Then I go into answering the second question because it's describe and explain the purposes of each of the 3 branches of government. So the first branch is the blank, and you can start with whichever branch you want. Its purpose is blank. So tell me, what does the article say it does? What is the whole point of that branch of government? Why do we have to have that branch of government? They each have their own specific job, and I actually talked about each of those jobs in my KWL chart. So forget, that would be a great place to look. So that is kind of, the article has like a whole paragraph about each branch of government. So go ahead and look for your first branch. Go ahead and look in the article what does it say it does. Then the second branch is blank. Look in the article. Tell me what that second branch does. Third branch is blank. Go ahead and tell me what that third branch does. And then some kind of closing sentence. I said those are each of the branches of government, how they help our government to function. Yours can be any type of closing sentence. You're all pretty good at that. You can restate the question. You can kind of restate what you wrote as your introduction sentence. Any of those are fine. Make sure that you it's letting me indent. No, it wasn't letting me indent it first. Make sure you try to remember to indent your introduction sentence as we're working on indenting paragraphs. That's just kind of generally what I put out here for the type 2. Once again, if it's not exactly that, that's okay. I'm not grading on the order of, branches that you used or the exact wording. This is just to help you. So I am looking forward to hearing your type 2. Remember, the whole point of doing the type 2 is that it really helps you to get back into that text and to really use what you've learned. This is you showing off. You get to show off to me and to whoever else reads it. You get to show off what you've learned. And I feel really confident based on your discussions and your comments and your type 1 writing and your everything that you've done this week, I feel very confident that you know a lot about this. So I'm really looking forward to reading your type 2 writing. So go ahead and do that. I am looking forward to reading your type 2s. As always, I'm here if you need any help, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, third grade.